Hey everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shea. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Easter is just around the corner and I do have a couple of Easter themed soaps. One of them is actually a repeat from last year where I did my bunny butt soap, and then this year I have also added hot cross buns into the mix. So we're going to go and make that today, and first up we're going to make the little embeds. Let's go. So we're going to create 3 different types of hot cross buns. We've got our traditional plain, we've got our fruit and spice, and then we have got our chocolate one as well. We're going to start with the simplest, which is our plain traditional hot cross bun. And for this one, I'm using some of the gold soap dough. And I'm going to take off a piece. I've worked out mine, roughly I want them about 1.7 to 1.8 grams. So that will do for that one. And this one is super simple. So now we've got it. It's going to give it a little bit of a condition here. We'll get the scale out the way, and then I'm going to roll it up into a ball. And then traditionally hot cross buns have that flat bottom and then rounded top. So I'm just going to push it on my side and push it down until I end up with what I think is a nice shape for the hot cross bun. And then I'm just going to take any tool that has got sort of a pointy end, and I'm going to put lines in where that sort of cross would be on the top of our hot cross buns. And this is so that we can actually inlay our white cross and it doesn't stick up too much, because if you actually look at the hot cross buns, the little white cross, it's got a slight rise to it, but it's not too high on the buns. So there's that one. Next I'm going to grab some of milk soap dough. We don't need very much. In fact, we don't need much at all to create these little embeds. So just break them up yourself a piece off, and I'm going to start rolling it out into a sausage. Once it gets to a certain point where it gets too hard to control getting it thin, I just break it up a little bit and then keep rolling this out. I want it nice and narrow. Right, so now that I have got that nicely rolled out, I'm just going to grab my little hot cross bun here, and I'm going to inlay my piece of white across the top and then across this way. Now it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, because when you do look at hot cross buns in the store, sometimes the crosses stop halfway up the bun, so it's really up to you how you want to do it. So there is the first one. Super simple, and only took me a couple of minutes because I'm talking to you. I could probably do them a lot quicker, but we've got that one done. Let's move on to our little spice, and again I'm going to use the gold soap dough, breaking off a piece which is about 1.7 to 1.8. It just worked out for what I want to do with my soap. That was the perfect size, so we will go with that. And again I'm going to start off conditioning my soap dough here. But the easiest way I found to get the spice look was with some poppy seeds. I'm just going to pop my finger in there, just grab a few, pop them into our soap dough, and then just massage them in. Now you do want to spend a little time massaging it, otherwise you can see you end up with those real dark spots there rather than the really nice little looking speckled look that these have. So you just need to start conditioning it up, moving those poppy seeds around. You can start to see that they are separating and we don't have those big black spots in there. So what we're going to do now, we've got it that far, same as we did for our traditional bun, going to roll it up into its shape, going to pop it down and squish the bottom, shape it into a hot cross bun, and then I'm going to take the tool and put our little cross lines over the top to inlay our white. And we'll go this way. Then we're going to grab that milk soap dough, going to roll it out, and we're going to put our little cross over the top of our bun. And there is our little spiced fruit bun there. And then onto the chocolate one. To do the chocolate one, again, it's very, very similar. We're going to start off with some chocolate soap dough here. So I'm just going to cut myself a piece off onto my scale. We're going to go for a piece that is, again, about 1.7 to 1.8. I'm not hugely precise with the exact measurements, but I do like to try and get them as close to each other as possible, mainly so that I know that each of my bars of soap are going to be approximately the same weight. So now we've got our piece of chocolate soap dough. Let's roll it up into a ball like we've done with the others, pop it onto the bench and squish it down into our little hot cross bun shape. Now before we start marking our cross, what I'm going to do is get some of the espresso soap dough. Come in here, just going to give it a little bit of a roll out. I just find it easier to roll it first before doing this, and then I'm going to break off just tiny little amounts. That is way too big. Tiny little amounts, roll them up into a ball and just drop them on the side for now. And I want about 5 to 7 of these little pieces here. Doesn't matter if some are slightly bigger or slightly smaller, it will really add to the whole look here. I do recommend going for odd numbers though, because odd numbers are do often look better than even. So now we've got those. I'm going to take my tool here, which has got a little ball on the bottom, and I'm just going to poke a hole into my little bun, grab one of these little balls and just stick it in, and these are going to look like there are chocolate drops. Now the reason I add my chocolate drops like this rather than like I do with the poppy seeds is if you try and roll soap dough within soap dough, it's all going to just blend together and you actually won't get that real defined look of little chocolate drops. So I'm just randomly popping holes, filling them up, and then as I said, it doesn't matter if they are different sizes because it will just look like the little chocolate drops are either further inside or maybe sitting on the surface of our little buns. Once I have got all my little chocolate drops in there, again I'm going to grab my tool as we did before. Let's clean off the last lot. I'm going to put my little cross across the top here. I'm not worried if it does touch any of these chocolate bits because it's going to really add to the whole look. Let's get that cleaned off, and we're going to go this way and we're going to go this way, and then we're going to get our white. We're going to do exactly the same, roll it out and then lay it over the top of our cross marks. Okay, so there is our chocolate hot cross bun, our fruit spice, and then our traditional as well. So as you can see, soap dough embellishments don't have to be that complicated to look super cute to go on soaps. Now that we've got them done, let's go and make our hot cross bun soap. Okay, so we're ready to make our soap. We're just pouring our lye water into our oils here. I'm going to mix it up, separate it out for the colours, and then I'm going to try and aim for some curly whirlies in this soap, and I'm going to set most of this to music. So the colours I'm using today, I have got, for my drop swirls, I am using some white, I've got some Sahara mica, and I also have some mocha, and into this one I'm using an Aztec gold, which I've had from off of Heirloom, and this one is proving to be a beautiful gold. Let's get these mixed in, and then I'll be adding in my fragrance oil. It is a dark one, but I've used it plenty of times before, so I know how it should behave. Doesn't mean to say it will do as it's told. This time I am using cinnamon vanilla because I thought that was just perfect for these hot cross buns. I am absolutely loving the colors this one has come up, and now all I'm going to do is just pop on. Let's start in the middle so I know exactly where to go. I'm popping on my 3 little hot cross buns. I'm going to try and keep them kind of in the middle there, and we might, oh no, I think my OCD is saying we're going to do them all the same today. So I'm going to lay all the ones down the center and then pop the others on there. So there we go. So what's your favorite type of hot cross bun? There are so many out there, and they are getting so creative with them now. I have to be really careful with hot cross buns because some of them do have milk in, but when I can find them without milk, I do enjoy them. Generally it has to be fruit spice. Just had a customer come in, so we had to stop there. So usually the only sort of hot cross buns I can get these days are the fruit spice or the traditional, so I do prefer to have the fruit spice. But before I had this intolerance to milk come up, there used to be one that one of our supermarkets put out, and it was a mocha, and it was one of the best hot cross buns they ever bought out. So you had a coffee based bun, and then it had the chocolate chips through, but they didn't do it for very long, only for a couple of years, and I've not seen it. Others have bought out a mocha version of a hot cross bun, but it was never as good as this one. I think it was Coles that used to do it, and none of them have ever been as good as that original mocha one. My husband, he actually said when he saw I was making these hot cross buns that I should be making a raspberry and white chocolate one, because that is his favorite sort of hot cross bun. I did see the other day in the shops there were, what was it, Vegemite and cheese hot cross buns, which could actually be quite interesting. Again, though, I can't have that one, but it's an interesting combination to have those savory ones. And I've seen like the jalapeno chili ones as well. But there is one big condition in our house, is that my husband absolutely refuses to buy hot cross buns until Easter. So we actually won't, given that Easter this year is around, I think it's around the 9th of April or something like that, we won't be buying any hot cross buns until we actually get to till April. The only time I made an exception was last year when I saw his white raspberry raspberry and white chocolate ones, because they don't tend to last very long on the shelf. So I did get him some of those before Easter last year, but I haven't seen him this year, so I guess he'll be waiting until that week before Easter, and then he'll be buying his hot cross buns, because that is when we're allowed to have them in the house. But I'm almost finished with putting this one on, and I'm going to hold back from putting any glitters on here because I just don't think hot cross buns and glitter and sparkle actually go together. But I am super pleased with how this one is coming together. I'll get these on and then bring you down for a closer look. Our Hot Cross Bun Soap is in the mold. It is looking super cute, so we're going to leave it sit here overnight, and we'll be back in just a moment. We'll cut it open and see if we manage to get any curly whirlies on the inside of this one. We are ready to cut into hot cross buns, and it is looking so good. Look at those swirls. Hoping we've got a few curly whirlies in there too. It's smelling really good. I have used this fragrance oil a few times, so I know how it behaves. It doesn't generally discolor. It might get a little bit darker, but it doesn't generally discolor on me. You watch now, I've said that, this batch will, but it usually is a pretty good fragrance and holds really well. I think I'm going to have a slice. I should have moved it down a little bit more, but too late, I'd started cutting. But as always, it is soap dough, so it is easy enough to repair. Just had to stop because I noticed the camera was about to run out of battery. But let's take a look at what we've got on the inside here. There is the end piece. Very, very simple circular swirl, but when we turn it on over, we have got the start of some beautiful curls in there. And then we've got our 3 little hot cross buns sitting across the top. So here is the next piece. So as we get further away from the end, we're going to start getting more and more of those curls coming up. There is another piece. It just smells really good as well. Smells just like hot cross buns smell. Really, really pleased with the swirls in here. Let's grab a couple from down here and take a look if it will let me. Oh, I like that piece in there. Got kind of like a mix between curls and drops in that piece. And then, oh, that looks like, let's get this one. It looks like there's a butterfly sitting in the corner of that soap there. Love how that's come together. It's almost, yeah, you can see the peak of the wings and stuff there. Really pleased with the swirls, the whole design, the smell. I love my little hot cross buns. So I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me as I made my hot cross bun soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one. And I will see you then. Bye.